Hello, and welcome to the Digital Workspace Works podcast. I'm Ryan Purvis, your host, supported by our producer Heather Bicknell. In this series, you'll hear stories and opinions from experts in the field, stories from the front lines, the problems they face and how they solved them, the areas they focused on from technology, people and processes, to the approaches they took that will help you to get to the grips with the digital workspace inner workings.
So we're going to talk about Apple Fitness today.
Yeah, Apple Fitness Plus. I know we've both been trying it out, so excited to see what you think of it.
Well, why don't you go first?
I'll go first. And I think a little bit of background might be helpful. So I guess the first thing, obviously, about Fitness Plus, and probably most people listening to our podcast will know this already, but you use it, you need to be locked into Apple's ecosystem. You need an Apple Watch, which means you need an iPhone, and it helps to have an iPad or an Apple TV. Otherwise, you're stuck with your phone watching the workouts, which I am, because even though we have an iPad, but it's related to my partner's Apple account. So I can't use Fitness Plus on our iPad unless I, associated it with my Apple ID, which I don't want to do. So I've been using my phone for it, which is kind of a bummer. So that's one negative for me. But I guess in general, it's inexpensive if you have the Apple Watch. If you have the rest of the ecosystem, it's only $10 a month or $80 a year, which is, as far as like fitness apps go, is pretty inexpensive for what you get. And I love the integrated nature of it, just the pressing play from your watch, seeing the rings on the screen. I even like the burn bar. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it. I'm not sure how accurate it is, but, it's just another kind of thing to pay attention to, I guess, and motivate you during the workout. But I also, I use another app called iFit. I'm not sure if you've heard of that one.
Never used it, though.
Yeah, so when I got my rower, so I guess another thing is we built like this whole thanks to, the pandemic, once again, we built our own home gym because, who knows. So I have a rower now, which is great. But that came with a free year of iFit. So I've been trying that out. And I feel like overall, I think Apple Fitness Plus it's a great app, but I feel like the workout side of it, the exercise, the actual training part of it needs work. But we can get into those details, but I just want to hear your overall impressions first.
It's fairly similar, funny enough. So I have for a long time, probably 6 years now, used some sort of mobile app to maintain my training. And what does that mean? So there's an Adidas one, I think, called Results, which I used for a couple of years. There was another one similar to iFit, which I can't think of the name. Then there was the Fitbit version as well, which I signed up for a period of time. So I've gone through a few of these. And funny enough, I ended up with buying the old Beachbody Insanity HIIT workout. Where I used to work, they were doing every day. And I decided that actually it's a pretty good routine to do because it's 30 minutes and whatever it is. So I've been doing that for the last year and a bit. So when Apple Fitness Plus came out, I thought I'd give it a go. And that was sort of what I was comparing it against. I was sort of saying, well, if I'm doing the HIIT workouts, Peloton was the other one that I used for 6 months, and I'll explain that in a second. So I was comparing Apple Fitness Plus against Beachbody Insanity. Now, I've ripped all my DVDs onto my iPad, so I watch it on my iPad when I'm doing that. And what I like about it is I can take it anywhere with me, wherever I am, and I can just whip out the workout and just do it. I don't need internet connectivity or anything like that. Now, during lockdown, we, through Vitality, who's our health provider in the UK, we got 6 months of Peloton free. So we did a lot of the Peloton exercises. Now, I'd always thought the Peloton was about the bike, but actually they've done a whole thing on yoga and all that kind of stuff. So in fairness, if you really want to compare them, I'd probably compare those two together. Now, what I found with the Peloton workouts, which I found the same with the Apple Fitness workouts, and it's kind of what you're saying, is they're not tough enough. which I know sounds maybe arrogant or whatever, but you do them, but you don't like, if I do a Beachbody Insanity workout, by 20 minutes, I'm dying and I'm trying to like just finish this thing. Whereas the Apple workouts, I kind of finished them and I'm going, yeah, I got my heart rate up, but I don't feel like I was challenged like I was. And I don't know if that's because there's other information on the screen and that's sort of maybe slowing me up or speeding me down or whatever it is. Because when you do the Beachbody Insanity, you kind of just do it at your own speed. There'll be days where I do it hard and days I do it soft. Now, when I was doing the Peloton ones, I found the same thing. There'll be days where I'd do a workout, I'd be like, yeah, okay, this was just a nice workout. It didn't really do anything. There were days where like, geez, that was really tough. And they weren't refreshing the content as much. But they had the same sort of gamification stuff. So they had the leaderboards and they'd call out your name while they're doing the workout and all that kind of stuff, which I thought was really cool, except that I never did the live workouts. I always did the day after the workout. So from an application point of view, I found that's what I thought of the fitness stuff. But like you, I really like the integration with Apple products. I think there are nuances which I think are a bit of a pain. Like we've only got one iPad here, which my wife can use, which is mine. If she does a workout, it picks up my watch, not her watch, which is irritating because then I have to go and delete the workout. So now the obvious solution is go buy another iPad.
How do they expect that to work? I mean, because it's a family plan that you can get. You can share with up to 5. But if you can't share the device, the screen, maybe Apple TV, you can have all those users, and that would be like the perfect way to use it.
Well, I think this is a problem with iPads forever, from the whole lifetime. They've never been shareable devices. So like my old iPad Mini is my book. I use that to read all my books on. And my wife's old iPad she's given to my son. So she's iPad-less, which I always said, if you want one, I'll get you one because, I think they are the right technology for most people and to work. But before we flew out here, she said, no, it's fine. We'll do it, in the new year. Now she's saying, oh, geez, I wish I had an iPad. But I'm not going to buy it here because it's more expensive here. So I think that is the obvious solution is you go get another device. Now, the iPads, the new ones, I mean, by comparison to other devices, they're not that expensive. They are expensive, but I think you get your return in a reasonable amount of time. But what I find frustrating is what you're saying is that you can't just share the session with a watch. So why doesn't both of us want to do a workout?
Right. One of you just has to do a general set the workout and not sync.
Yeah, because Kirsten, before she was badly pregnant, I say badly in the sense that she was done 6 months or whatever, was doing the Beachbody Insanities with me. She was doing the modified versions, and she would just skip certain exercises. But why can't you with an iPad Pro, or whatever the big ones are? The sort of 12-inch, 13-inch. Why could you not have two of you doing a workout together and have your watches in sync? And maybe it's just a case of a maturity of the device coming. Because the other thing that bugs me, which is why I sort of like the way I've set up with Beachbody Insanity, is that I can have the video going on my iPad, but I can be listening to a podcast on my phone while the exercises are going. I just watch the screen and do the stuff. Every time I try and do it with my iPad and the Apple Fitness, it keeps trying to steal the headphone connection, so I get the audio. And I find the train is pretty irritating. So that also bugs me a bit because there's like 30 seconds of them waffling, and I'm like, just get to the workout. Enough talking. I've already got 30 minutes, and you're wasting 30 seconds on my 30 minutes. But generally I'm impressed. I think it's bang for buck. I think it's going to compete with what's out there. But there's a long way to go to mature.
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts based on what you just said. But one of my annoyances too is if I could use my Mac, my laptop, it would be okay. But it's not one of the devices that you can use Fitness Plus with. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer. But I'm in a divided household. Mac, Android, or iOS, Android. But with our iPad and the rower and the iFit, we can both use it. We both have an iFit account. We just, flip which user is there with an iPad. It also integrates with our rower, which has magnetic resistance. So while you're doing the workout, it automatically is changing the resistance for you, which is super nice. So I've gotten a little bit into rowing during this period, and the Apple ones are all, and I think this relates to the difficulty, are all over the place in terms of how they present the sport and what they tell you to look out for. So rowing, you're typically looking at your cadence and then your split time. But there's no mention of, none of the trainers have mentioned like speed versus power in any of these workouts. And when you're rowing, if you're doing slow, long pulls and putting out a lot of power, that's going to like really hit your legs. But if you're just kind of like moving back and forth on the machine to hit that speed, you're not getting the same quality of workout. But they haven't explained that. So I think if you're an absolute beginner on rower, you need something else to be able to learn how to use the machine effectively. And as I say, I think that's where the Peloton bike really was the first one to do this. I'm sure there's others that do it now as well. But that ability to, and I'm sure AI will get involved in this as well, to sort of maintain your workout using algorithms to drive up effort or drop it down based on what your biorhythms are saying or what your, whatever they're measuring you for, is the way of the future. Because to do 30 minutes of exercise, or however long you do it, there's definitely an amount that you need to do for your body to break out of sweat and to start seeing some fat loss and then muscle build and whatever it is. But if you also can tune the resistance at the right time, so that when you're really struggling, it gives you a little bit back, so you can push through that last little bit. Or what makes it even harder, so you got to push a little bit harder and get over the hump, whatever that is. It might reduce your workouts, but it's doing it in a way that you don't have to control it. Because the frustration I have, and this I saw with the Apple Fitness this morning as well, is you search for, you got to find the workouts. The workouts are the whole navigation's a mess. And you want to try and filter it like I like a HIIT workout for 30 minutes. And I was looking for music, but then I because of the internet connectivity stuff where I am outside, I have to download the episode first, which also irritates me. But now, only when you're downloading it do you notice that, you need to have dumbbells for this one. Mm-hmm. No filtering option that says, completely no equipment
or whatever it is. So those sort of things I need to fix. And then also when you've downloaded the episode, and Peloton I think got this right, where you download it, you'd use it once and it would take it off your device, and then you get the next one that was similar. So you always get, because they're always refreshing these workouts and stuff, which is great because they are fresh. But now I've got like 67 videos from Fitness Plus on my iPad. I'm going to delete them all manually, and the way it deletes it's also not obvious. You got to click somewhere else. Click over here to download it, but now you got to click up here to remove it. And there's no way to go and select all and delete all. Those are little things which, for an Apple product, is actually quite disappointing because normally they think about that kind of stuff. But I saw that with the podcast app as well. They kind of completely forgot about usability, and it became this messy, disorganized app. So that's why I don't use it anymore. Which is where I'll probably go with Apple Fitness too. Just won't use it anymore.
Yeah, I do wish there's a lot of filters I wish were there. You can't filter. There's no difficulty. I feel like I'm just whinging now, but there's no difficulty filter, which is kind of like, beginner, intermediate, and advanced workouts. Not being able to have that is sort of basic, or, an intensity score, or even letting people rate them based on, was this a good workout, or how hard was it, or estimated calorie burn. Any of the signs I think you normally look for to determine like how much effort am I going to have to put in to do this workout just aren't there. Like the titles aren't descriptive either. It's HIIT with so-and-so trainer. It's not, like lower body focus. You can't, in strength workouts too, you can't sort by, I want to target my arms today or my, my legs or whatever. But they have a whole core section, which I haven't done any of those yet. Let's see, I've tried, I took some notes. I've tried the rowing, HIIT, strength, and then the mindful cool downs, which are fine. It's nice to like have that integrated into just, kick off a minute of, 5 minutes of stretching at the end, which I would normally do anyway, but now it's logged as activity, which I've noticed that also that gives me an extra like 40 to 50 calorie burn, where I think if I hadn't logged it, I wouldn't be getting that exercise and movement credit.
Okay. Yeah, look, I mean, that stuff actually works really nicely. It is appealing for I suppose if you haven't done anything else anywhere else, you wouldn't know what you're missing. And I think you're right about, you want to know intensity. So, for example, with the hip ones, there's 3 trainers, and I quite like the one trainer. I just like her sort of style, but I know that they're not going to be physically like as in building strength. They're more, aerobic sort of exercises. Now, the thing that I liked about Beachbody Insanity is you got basically 2 types. You got the Tabatas and then you got the cardio ones. So you can do the cardio ones every so often, and then you can do the Tabatas like a strength and a power one, which the strength and power ones are really tough. Like you're doing 100 push-ups in 6 minutes in different maneuvers and stuff, which really taxes out your body. If I had to do these fitness ones, I would be fitter, but I don't think I'd get the results that I'd be used to. If that makes any sense. And I think that's where they need to fix it a bit.
No, it does. Yeah. Yeah, I think.
And I like the yoga ones.
I haven't tried the yoga yet. No, I'm not really a big yoga to like music fan, so I haven't, like, that side of it doesn't appeal to me. I think Apple does have the advantage from a music perspective, but I also don't mind when the work, and I know you said you listen to other stuff anyway during the workouts, but I don't really mind when there's no music happening. But I know you'd mentioned reaching out. I think we only have a few more minutes here to wrap this up. I know you'd mentioned reaching out to Apple on a few of these items, and you felt like you were seeing changes in the app. Was there anything there that you wanted to comment on?
Well, so the first time was me being stupid. So I expected when I upgraded my iPad to 14.3 that the fitness app would be installed automatically, and it wasn't. So I used my phone the first time to do a workout, and I hated that. I really felt that going from an iPad down to a phone to the workout was really frustrating. But then there's something else that I moaned about. And I do moan about this stuff because it's one of my important things every day to do. But I did literally see an update the next day in the app that fixed it. So I do think that they are taking feedback seriously. Almost they've put it out as good enough, not as a perfect app. But then in the same token, I queried them about the download thing where you want to be able to delete it on the same button that you've just downloaded it on. And they asked me to log a request on the new feature portal website. And the fitness app's not even there yet. So it does feel like it's been rushed out. Maybe it's been rushed out because of all these lockdowns and that to try and get in the market for that. But yeah, I think it's going to be a work in progress for a while. I don't know if you're on a 1 month trial or you got the extra 3 months because your Apple Watch.
No, I have a Series 3, which is ancient in Apple Watch terms now. So I got the free month. So I have a note in my calendar to cancel it on a certain day. I haven't decided if I want to wait another month, see if they add more content, see if they, if changes happen. Because one of the really nice things I like about it as well is that you can look back in time and not just see, I did a 30-minute strength workout on this day, but I can see exactly what workout I did, which will be great if I could also track progression and look at other kind of, get some other signals as well, because then you could see how your training improves.
That was the thing I complained about. It wasn't very easy to see you actually done a workout. And then the next day there was an update and there was a little tick in the bottom right-hand corner that appeared. That was the one thing, because, as you say, you're going through these exercises. Now you're like, did I do this one yesterday? I can't remember. And I really didn't like this one. And the only way I knew was I'd started again. I was like, oh, no, I really can't handle this guy. No, let me go back and find another workout.
Yeah. What about you? Did you do month to month? Did you get 3 months because you have a 6?
Yeah. So when I signed up, when I did the initial 1 month, somewhere along the line it asked me, do you want to, when I got back, because that was the other problem I had, is that my watch, for some reason, on my phone wouldn't connect. But it connected straight away on my iPad. And then when I got it to work with the watch on the phone, then it asked me, do you want to add the extra 3 months you get with your watch? So in theory, I got 4 months of using it.
Hi!
What?
I got to wait for you.
Okay.
Say hello. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Come on, let's go. Say bye-bye. Come, then I'll help you.
Well,
I think this is good as a place as any to stop.
thanks, Heather. We'll get to chat to you. We'll chat on Thursday.
Yeah. Talk to you then, Ryan.
Talk to you there. Bye.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. Heather Bicknell is our producer and editor. Thank you, Heather, for your hard work on this episode. Please subscribe to the series and rate us on iTunes or the Google Play Store. Follow us on Twitter at the DWW Podcast. The show notes and transcripts will be available on the website www.digitalworkspace.works. Please also visit our website www.digitalworkspace.works and subscribe to our newsletter. And lastly, if you found this episode useful, please share with your friends or colleagues.